I'm going to wait a few moments. Okay, so we're now live. The attendants are now joining the webinar. I'm going to give them a few minutes to join, and then we'll start in a few moments.
Okay.
Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is such a privilege to be with you once again during our series that we're calling Thriving in Crisis, how to get through this COVID-19 crisis that we find ourselves as Zimbabweans. And it's exciting once again to be here with you. Thank you so much for signing up for the webinar, which is brought to you by Telco. My name is Dumisani Nkala. I'll be your moderator during the session. I would like to, at this point, welcome very warmly to our webinar, our Minister of Women Affairs, Community, Small and Medium Enterprise Development, the Honorable Dr. Thembiso Nyoni. Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Thank you so much for joining us. It's a privilege for us to have you here.
Thank you.
I'd also like to introduce my two moderators, Natsai Mawoni and Jackie Ndlovu. Natsai will be taking care of our Facebook Q&A, and Jackie will be taking care of the Zoom Q&A. So you can keep feeding your questions through to the Q&A, and you can keep feeding your responses as we have this discussion with the Minister. Once again, it's very exciting to be talking to the Minister and engaging with one of our leaders in terms of just understanding where we find ourselves. So Minister, can I start by asking you to set the scene? Where do we find ourselves during this COVID-19 crisis? It's a crisis that has gripped the entire world. It's not unique to Zimbabwe. Where do we find ourselves, particularly as regards your ministry, women, small to medium businesses, because that's the mass of the audience here. Please just set the scene for us.
Yes, thank you very much. I think this lockdown was very necessary. It is a crisis that is global. And I think we have seen how lockdowns can assist nations to prevent the spread of COVID-19. So it is a necessary move, and we want to thank the President for that. And we can't really also underplay the impact that it has had on business and especially on the SMEs. So where we are is that I think so far so good. We are trying to contain, although I understand that the cases in Bulawayo are rising, and the people in Bulawayo, please stay home and prevent. Nationally, I think we are still doing fine.
Okay, thank you so much for setting that scene. Maybe if I can kick off the Q&A session by asking you one major issue, which I think is on a lot of minds of the SMEs or the small to medium businesses, and that is, what do you believe to be the impact of COVID-19, the COVID-19 pandemic on Zimbabwean SMEs, on the business community? What is the impact? I'm sure your ministry has had a look at this and surveyed what is likely to be the impact and what's likely to happen.
I want to assure the SMEs out there that the ministry is with them, and we are aware of the impact that has happened to our SMEs. Let me just mention a few. There's been a freeze of business right through because people are staying at home, and except those that are working from home. And I'm going to come to that, which is what we are now engaging. And there's also a disruption. As you know, that a lot of SMEs were in the retail. They were being fed by cross-border traders. So yes, that is closed, which means their supplies now are going down. So the value in the supply chain, both in agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, has gone down. So there is also loss of stock. Their stock has also diminished. There is a freeze in sale and revenue for most of the SMEs. But there's also a reduction in the cash flow, their cash flow. The workers are at home, and this is to be expected. It's not just the typical Zimbabwe. It should be expected, because when there is a lockdown, it means these are the kinds of disadvantages or kind of impact that is going to. As a ministry, we took a proactive role. What we did was to just do a small survey in which we had nearly 1,000 SMEs countrywide to find out real percentages. This is what we have come out. This is just an estimate from, a small survey, which is...
Sorry, Minister. Can I interrupt you just briefly? Can you just state that the survey that you did once again, because for a moment there was a bit of a disruption in the connection. Can you just share again the survey that you did of 1,000 SMEs?
Yes, we just had a short survey of nearly 1,000 SMEs, just to show how proactive we are, so that we are with our SMEs and we are in touch with our SME leaders in the provinces. And we hope that, and also some districts, and we hope that this cascades down. These were our findings from that small survey, that 86% of businesses are currently on shutdown, 86%. And 59% of the MSMEs indicated that they will not be able to pay salaries for the month of April. So that's another big impact. And 57% of the SMEs will require social grants for their employees. And I'm sure you have heard that as a ministry, we have taken also a proactive role to register these SMEs, especially the informal sector. And so far we have submitted to the Ministry of Public Service up to about 129,000, and the registration goes on. And the 57 SMEs indicated that they will struggle to resume their business even after the lockdown. And SMEs indicated the need that they really will require support after the lockdown. So this is to show you that as a ministry, we are not folding our hands. As let me tell you that one day I sat on my dining room table from 9 up to 4 p.m. Being in touch with SME leadership and ensuring that I have information so that when we sit in cabinet, I'm well informed of the impact and what the people are going through.
This is fantastic. The stats that you are sharing are very significant, and they paint a very, I think, quite a serious picture of what many of the SMEs are facing. And we actually, it's good to hear that our leadership is in touch with what SMEs are actually going through. I'd like to zone in on one of the statistics that you have just mentioned. The statistic around the 57% of SMEs requiring social grants and submission of the 129,000. Can you share a little bit more about the nature of these grants, as well as how SMEs that are actually engaging on this platform could possibly get their names registered or get their businesses registered onto these grants? And then maybe also another thing, is this only limited to formal businesses? Can informal traders also apply for the social assistance?
No, for now we are registering the informal businesses because they are impacted more.
Right.
And they are the ones that will also qualify with the social welfare. But then we have opened our registration and it to be in 2 categories so that we have those that will benefit from the social welfare, and we are looking beyond COVID. And we don't want that after COVID-19 passes, we now start fumbling and say, where are we? What are we doing? And let me assure SMEs out there that the ministry is really active, is in touch, and would like the SMEs to be in touch with us. And this morning, I phoned personally the Minister of Public Service, and I said, this figure is very conservative. Can we continue? Because I know, like when we had these statistics, there are a lot of SMEs, informal sector, that were left out there. And he agrees that we continue. So we will be able to collect more names. So I'm saying to the SMEs, please don't feel alone out there. You have a ministry that cares, a ministry that really would like you to be cushioned. And I'll come to some of the programs that we have right now that could preoccupy and make SMEs earn money from home as they close down.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that. I think it has been on the news bulletins this morning, and I think it's support that is well appreciated, because it's one of the key questions that has come up over and over again, is what is government doing to help to cushion even in these tough times. Perhaps we can move on to another question that I might have for you before I start taking questions from the floor, and that's around these policies and these programs. I think a lot of people are not aware of the policies and the programs. What's your view? Are the SMEs aware of the policies and programs that are run by the ministry? And in that vein, how do they become more aware of this?
I think I want to thank you very much for this platform. We also depend on people like you to publicize what the SMEs are going through and what the ministry is doing with SMEs. We do our best, but I think we could do more. We really have a good relationship with our SMEs. As a ministry, we have set structures, encouraged SMEs to set their own structures. For instance, each district has an SME chamber, and the districts will then come together within a province to form an SME provincial chamber. And then after that, we have a national chamber of SMEs. And as we were going before COVID, we were beginning to really take off, because we are going to say each province need to have a graduation ceremony so that micro graduates to small, small graduates to medium, and then medium graduates to large. We graduate these and give them Ministry of Industry. So we are keeping in touch with SMEs through those structures. But also, as you know, I visit SME programs in each district. We have officers in each province, we have officers, and we are struggling now to say in each ward, we also have to have SMEs, SME representatives or representatives of the ministry. So we try to be in touch with our ministry constituency, but we also invite them to also to be in touch. And let me say, a lot of them, they are free to phone me directly. Like I was in contact with one SME in Kadoma. And really we were exchanging WhatsApp because he was saying, Minister Funders, Minister Funders. And then I was going back and saying, why are you harassing me? Have you gone through the processes? And she said, yes, I have. And just today, I'm going to phone her back and say, right on, girl, this is what you need to do. We want to engage you. We want SMEs that don't and complain and grumble. Let's engage because they are the foundation of our economy. But then we formulate policies and we also promote linkages between SME and SME, SME and large businesses, SMEs and cooperatives. And we work closely also with the big business community so that at least they don't feel alone out there.
Fantastic. So SMEs are free to join the local chapters, the local and provincial chapters that then filter through their issues to the ministry and have a dialogue with the ministry.
Yes.
Maybe let me at this stage pause a little bit. I can continue with some questions, but let me take a few questions or comments from the floor that feed into our discussion this morning and keep us on track. So I have a question here about the social grants, and the question is, what form will these grants take? Is it the form of capital or stock or cash or other inputs? That is one question. And Natai, do you have any question from the Facebook platform that you want to feed in?
Platform.
Apologies, Natai.
Oh no, that's fine.
Sorry, do you have one question from the Facebook platform?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. Maybe, Minister, you can go ahead and answer the format that these programs and these grants will take even during and after the COVID crisis.
Yes, these grants are being administered by the Ministry of Public Service. They are grants. They are going to be transferred to the individuals through OneMoney, through money transfers, so that it's called a cushioning grant. And it's very small, but it will help, it will go some way. And then as a ministry, we are working towards post-COVID, in which we will see what else needs to be done. This is why it's very important for people to register, so that when we post-COVID, we don't need to be looking for each other. We are already engaged. And our ministry is saying, oh, dear SMEs, we don't want to lose you. Please keep home. Prevent, 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 especially those that are in the vending trade. Because we are now saying as a ministry, vending can be a big danger or carrier or spread. It can really be a hub for spreading COVID-19 because social distancing there is very difficult. So we are saying stay home. Let's reorganize in a way that social distancing is observed, so that at the end of COVID, we are all alive to really rebound and run our economy like nobody has ever known it.
Thank you. Minister, so you rightly say that SMEs are the future of the economy of Zimbabwe. I think it's been proven in many countries that 80% of the employment is created by small to medium enterprises. Is it appropriate that a lot of our SME sector should be informalized? Are there mechanisms that are being worked at to work at formalizing these SMEs so that we don't have as high an informal sector as we currently do, where we do have registered businesses that can then access various kinds of funding from formal, public, and private investment? What are the policies that surround that kind of move towards formalization of our businesses?
Let me say that the SMEs are a private entity. We want them to grow believing that and to be proud to be businesses. And the ministry cannot force anyone or coerce anyone to formalize. I'm saying that SMEs, if you are informal, who are you? You have no respect, you have no fixed abode of your businesses, you have no business card, and even the public out there, they don't respect you. And I have worked with SMEs. I'm sure you read the World Bank report of 2013, that as a ministry we had managed to make 2.8 million Zimbabwean move out of poverty. But a lot of those were still informal. And then we had a drive to say, as long as you are informal, you can't grow, because growth comes when you have your own structure and people can invest in you, either through giving you orders for you to sell your product, or through banks giving you loans, or through us as ministry linking you to other businesses, backward and forward linkages. So formalization really is something that the SMEs need to take seriously. And as a ministry, we are saying, we don't want post-COVID to have as many informal sector as we have now. Let's take this break as an opportunity to reflect, to reconnect, to put foundations for a new normal. And any SME that is listening to me right now and is lonely out there, let's connect by phone, let's connect by WhatsApp, and let's move together.
Thank you so much. I'm going to take this opportunity to talk to a poll that we've just launched now, where we've asked some questions. Can our attendants take a moment to answer the poll and just feed back to us around your understanding of policy, your understanding of your role in SMU, how many of these programs and policies you're aware of. If you can help us by answering the poll, it'll help us to guide the conversation as well. Minister, you mentioned something just now about post-COVID, because yes, we're worried about eating now while we're experiencing this crisis. However, we do need to start to plan for post-COVID, and you've already mentioned that there are some programs that government is looking into post-COVID. However, can you speak a little bit about what your view, what will be the situation post-COVID? What is the situation that we're going to be coming into post-COVID?
Let me say that if we don't plan now, if we don't think now, and we act now, post-COVID is going to be a mess. So as a ministry, we are already engaged. As a ministry, we are already talking to other ministries, other partners we are talking to the SMEs themselves. This is what we are doing now. We are saying we want to save our nation because this shutdown is for us all, is to prevent COVID. So we are saying and be productive. Let me just share with you that this 23 million masks, and we don't want to import masks. It needs 25 million liters of sanitizers. And the needs for PPE is in millions and in hundreds of thousands of quantities. So I know the SMEs, I know them, they are hardworking, they are productive, they are disciplined. So as their minister, I am saying, I have opened a window for you to stay home and produce the majority of these PPEs. So can you imagine if we need 300 million and how many, even if we need 23 million, I beg your pardon, masks out there. And then we have about 2.8 million Zimbabweans. Honestly, I mean, that are in the SMEs. Let's take any woman who has a machine, and I'm saying to you, stay home, start your family business. What you need to do, this is what I'm saying, what you need to do, make samples. On Monday, for instance, we are calling representatives from provinces. I'm going to issue a letter for them to travel so that they come to Harare, they fetch their materials, their samples, they are oriented on how to do it, so that when they go back to their provinces, they are staying home productively. And we have chosen as a ministry 4 areas that women can do at home. That is soap, that is detergents, that is sanitizers, and masks. So when this economy opens, who can take away the way you are producing soap? Who will take away your production of detergents? Let's see, and I will be going on the media as we launch other things that we can do at home. So post-COVID, nobody will push you out of the market because already you are there. And let me assure SMEs that what I'm saying, NetFarm will buy from you. So NetFarm will buy these products that I've just mentioned so that they distribute. So we are saying as a ministry, we are doing something now that will lead to women, youth, and men that are in the productive sector to move into COVID. But having said that, we are then saying we want as Zimbabweans to change the mentality that business is about selling things. That if you are an SME, you must sell something. But if you are an SME, you must engage in every sector. Follow your passion. And let me tell you that before this ministry, before we engaged constructively with the women, there were no event managers to talk about. But now women are expert in event management. Enter those areas so that when tourism opens, you are revamping your home, you are revamping your garden, so that when weddings take place around you, your garden is a picture square, so that people come there to take pictures, you are earning money from there. There's so much we can do from home, while we also cooperate with the president and the nation to prevent. My ministry, I am on close, on lockdown, but let me tell you, I am locked down on my dining room table, connecting, working, and thinking, strategizing. I am available for you, and my team is available to you. Let's connect. Let's build foundations now so that after COVID, you have taken your position. And those that are going to sit home and cry, after COVID, there may be no space, because I'm very happy to say, like I'm saying with this Kadoma lady, she is aggressive. She wants to do things. Let's support each other and let's occupy our space from home to the community, and when it opens up, to the nation.
Fantastic. Questions from the floor before I pose my last two questions to the Minister. I think I've got a question here, Minister, where it says, in one of your speeches, I have heard you speak to the dignity of workspace. Please expound on this idea, especially now in the aftermath of COVID-19. Someone is saying that they've heard you speak about the dignity of workspace. What does that mean? And what will that mean in a post-COVID context?
I think this has been really one of my worries, that SMEs are taken to be vendors. And when local authorities plan, in a lot of cases, they don't plan for SMEs. They will plan for big companies, for big people, and not for SMEs. And yet SMEs are the bedrock of any economy in the world. So my plea is that I'm already engaging the local authorities. And I wanted to also appeal to the vendors themselves, yes, and the SMEs themselves, and say, please, can you introspect? Would you like to go back to those plastic shacks by the road, in that dirty squalor, and call yourself a business person? If your answer is no, let us unite, the ministry and the government and yourself. And let us say to the local authorities, please clean up that. And if we unite, we will then organize ourselves as SMEs according to clusters and sectors, and say, we are SMEs in Mbare that are in the food chain. We are selling tomatoes and we are selling greens. This is what we want for ourselves to go back to business. And I am appealing to vendors, let us not go back to that debt. As a ministry, we are now campaigning for you and advocating that different stakeholders now should come together. And we're making plans so that we have this dignified infrastructure where you go as a vendor, you open your space, your store, and in the evening you shut it down. You are number 50, you are number 2, you are number 3, and outside your store there is a dustbin. Outside your store there is a bucket for people to wash their hands. And within that complex there are ablution blocks, there is water, there are toilets, there is power. It is doable if the SMEs and the ministry and government and partners will work together.
Yes.
But you know, the ministry can't reinforce this. The ministry needs the SMEs to come together and say, we are not accepting squalor. Our business is A, B, C, D. This is what we will do as SMEs. This is what our partners, we're asking our partners to support us in. This is where we are expecting government also to come in. Let us not take ourselves as victims, but as really champions of business and poverty reduction champions. Nobody has ended poverty in Zimbabwe or in Africa better than an SME. Because poverty is not ended by charity when someone gives you money and you put it in your pocket. Poverty is ended when you start thinking, using your brain to be productive, to create wealth, in order for you to use your own wealth to fight your needs to meet your needs. That is, so my ministry has been instrumental in equipping people to fight poverty in a practical, realistic way. But now I'm saying, let's end the poverty of the lack of infrastructure, the poverty of dignity of workspace that has post-COVID. I want to call upon SMEs to unite with us, the partners, because government is concerned about the squalor that the vendors find themselves. But without the vendors themselves, the SMEs themselves, government alone can't do it.
That's right. In fact, I like what you're saying a lot, Minister. You are pointing to the idea that we all need to take collective responsibility of our workspace and our capability to work. And we need to form cooperatives or bodies that would advocate and lobby local authorities, city councils, and get the advocacy as well from ministry to assist us to achieve our aims. I've got some few comments here on the Q&A. Jeff says, well done, Minister, on being proactive and conducting the small survey. The majority of SMEs need stimulus support. I think you've already spoken to the practical ways in which that stimulus support will be coming through. There's a question here from Francisca where she asks, how best can we contact the ministry? As you've offered a couple of times on the platform, you've said that you and your office and your team are ready to be contacted. How best can we contact you?
Yes, I think our ministry is in Kaguvi, and the people can contact us in Kaguvi. I will, in the end of this, give full phone numbers and also the email numbers that people can use. And really, I mean it. I love to see people producing results. And I think this is what has made us succeed, because people in the SMEs are producing results. And we need now to change the mentality of Zimbabweans that have stereotyped SMEs as people that are by the way. And I want to say to Zimbabweans, who really has not benefited from an SME in their family? So I will give in the end of this program our contact numbers, and we have an open door, and we would like to change the mentality of negative, because when you think positive, you are creative, you connect positively, and you produce positive results. This is what the ministry is there for.
Fantastic. We are literally now in our last few minutes of this webinar, and I would like to just sum up the takeaways that you've said to us, and then just give you the opportunity to say a few final words, as well as giving us those contact details. I think some of the takeaways that we can take away from what you've said to us is this crisis that we're in, through the survey that the ministry has run, shows that 86% of businesses have had to shut down. More than half of those SMEs are going to require some level of stimulus support. You've said to us that government has put in place some small level of stimulus support to the extent that it can, that people can continue to register for that stimulus support. Largely at the moment, it is focused towards the informal sector. You've also said to us that there are projects that especially women and youth can get involved with right now during this period. The 4 projects that I've heard you speak about are the manufacture of soap, detergents, hand sanitizers, and masks, and that people have an opportunity right now to engage with those projects even while they're sitting at home. And I think that that does bring some level of relief to people and some level of business idea. from also what I've heard you saying, you are open to people communicating and advocating for certain assistance from ministry, particularly as they do so in groups to create dignified workspaces.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those are some really substantive takeaways in my view. Perhaps I can give you a last moment to just sum up what your thoughts are as we go into a post-COVID world. What are some of your thoughts? What are the takeaways that you would like your SMEs, your constituency to take away with them?
I think I really would like to start by thanking you for this platform and to say to the SMEs there, out there, please don't get depressed, don't feel alone. We are here for you. And that wherever you are in Zimbabwe, there is no home that is useless, that you can't get anything that you can do. For instance, if you have a garden, please focus on your garden, produce vegetables. There are some SMEs that are small producers of horticulture. Their produce have suffered because they haven't been coming to the market. Please, let's do like we saw the First Lady do in the media. Let's dry those vegetables and package them. When this is over, you are going to market your vegetables. If you have an idea and you are not sure whether it works, that's why we are here. Contact us. Let's tease your idea by phone. Let's tease your idea by WhatsApp, by emails, so that now there is this digital communication. Nobody's really shut out. So let's communicate. And let me just say also, the Women's Microfinance Bank is there for you. And I've asked them to also start thinking and developing products that women can benefit from. We also have SMETCO that will be supporting women. And start products now, and that will work as your foundation after COVID, so that we minimize people that are going in the street to vend. And when we plan for workspace, we plan for you to be in the productive sector. Because if you produce, you are the king. You control the market and the price. But if you are always on the receiving end and you're always distributing, you are at the mercy of those that are producing. So let me say to the SMEs that we are really there for you, and these are our contact numbers. This is the contact for our ministry. It is 0242 251 559. And our email is pswomenaffairs@gmail.com. So we hope that people will be in touch with us. And the Twitter number is ZW Women SMED. So please, let's keep in touch. I cannot overemphasize the need for us to realize that sometimes God brings catastrophe so that we turn to Him and we turn to each other positively. And I would like really to appreciate you and to appreciate SMEs that have realized that. And they are out there doing good work, and our job is to support them and make sure that they grow. After this COVID, I am sure the way that some of the SMEs are making my ministry work We are working harder than if we were in offices. And we hope that this is going to create a new way of relating. This is going to create a new way of working together and shun from negative media reports. Let us present facts like I've presented facts to you. And I really wish the SMEs well.
Thank you so much, Minister. Thank you once again for those contact details. If I may repeat, 0242-251-559, pswomenaffairs@gmail.com, as well as a WhatsApp number, ZW Women SMED. To everyone who's been on the session, we will share those through our different media platforms so that everyone can have access to them. We will further also continue to engage with the Minister's office, because we are very keen as Telco to continue to support these initiatives that support SMEs, because we are clear, SMEs are the future of this country. Thank you once again, Minister.
Sure.
We really appreciate your time. Good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you.